this is a chance to like highlight the greatest golfer, one of the greatest golfers of all time, against one of the worst PGA Tour winners of all time. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Like, people love him or hate him, and I did. Be honest, I grew up because Tiger was my guy. I was like, I don't like Phil, and then fast forward to now, when he kind of got into the content space, I guess, I don't know, earlier this year, or like wanting to like make an effort. I was like, this is interesting. Like, why does he want to do that? But like seeing him, like, he's great for YouTube golf. Forward to like, Grant and him kind of hit it off and film some stuff. And then that led to like, I think Grant saying, hey, you and Wesley need to play a match, or us two, George and Wesley need to take us two on, and kind of like.
Today on the Scratch Golf Show, we feature George Bryan, half the Bryan Bros, one of the hottest channels in YouTube golf. George started Bryan Bros with his brother Wesley in 2014, and since then, they have been able to grow their subscriber count by over 500,000. It's truly impressive what they've been able to do. In fact, in a recent article by My Golf Spy, it shares George and Wesley have grown their viewership by over 116%, and gained over 165,000 subscribers in the last 12 months. In today's interview, George shares how him and Wesley have had so much success growing their channel on the golf course, their relationship off the golf course, his reaction to Wesley's match with Phil Mickelson, and much, much more. If you're new here to the Scratch Golf Show, my name is Marco. Welcome to the channel. We mainly interview PGA Tour caddies and some of the top creators in the content space. If you could do me a favor and hit that subscribe button below, trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the start of the Masters this April. Like the video, leave a comment for your favorite part, and enjoy the interview with George. Good morning, everyone. Grab your tea, George, I might need your help with this, but grab your tea, your matcha, your coffee,
your chai, your coffee, whatever you consume.
Morning interview.
Caffeine.
Morning interview here on the Scratch Golf Show. A huge interview, one I've been excited to do. The other half of the Bryan Bros, Mr. George Bryan. George, sorry, it's morning, man. So I'm not used to being up this early, but thanks for jumping on this morning. I really appreciate it.
This is so late. 8:45 is not early.
Dude, I'm freshly married. I got married this year, man. I don't have kids yet, so I'm not on that grind yet. Soon, but this is still like, and I'm off work right now. I'm off work until Thursday, so like I get to sleep in these days. So it is kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean, I guess 8:45. I feel like we're rolling right into the afternoon right now.
For sure, yeah. I feel that, man. Productivity. I'm a night owl, though. Anyway, dude, like I said, I'm really excited to have you on. Been wanting to do this for a while. And it just so happens we're recording on 12/31. We're going to be dropping this in I think next week, but recording on that last day of the year. So it's fitting that I was able to get you in before the end of the year, which is super cool. But a huge Phil Mickelson match that just dropped, which we're going to get into here in a little bit. Super excited to get into that. But first, where I want to start, man, as I mentioned, I'm a huge fan of your guys. I feel like you guys in the last year and a half have really taken off. I mean, you guys have been around YouTube forever, right? But in the last year and a half, I feel like your channel has really, when I see your channel, obviously Bryan Bros has really taken off. In a time where YouTube golf, it seems like, has been on not a big decline, but a little decline from where it's peaked. How have you guys grown your channel so much and still put out banger videos like the Skins game, like the Phil Mickelson match and the Major Cut series in a time where views seem to be down and you guys seem to be growing and stacking up subscribers and views?
Yeah, it's interesting. When we're recording this, I think we're 1,500 away from 500K. So like when this video comes out, we're probably going to hit 500,000 subscribers, which is pretty, 500,000 is pretty insane. Because when we started back, from, we'll probably get into it, but 5 years ago, we had 32,000. So in 5 years, picked up, about 500K subscribers, which like, you look at YouTube and like, oh, there's channels with 60 million, 50 million, 10 million subscribers, and the number of 500K seems small. But when you think like that's a massive amount of people that you're able to that people are wanting to hop on and join in on the journey. But I think, even from our, trick shot days 10 years ago is when or 11, what is it? 24. Yeah, almost 11 years ago. I think we always want to just put out consistent, engaging content. Like we're not trying to like have these massive growth, banger videos that gives us millions of subscribers. No, it's like we just want to put out good, consistent, fun stuff that like, it's not going to be bad. It's not going to be like, there's some way better YouTube golf videos out there, I'm sure. But like, we just wanted to like, I don't know, see consistent growth. And I think not getting too caught up in like growing, I think has helped us just keep with that mindset of, hey, let's keep having fun, keep enjoying this, and not putting like make it a number or a business like businessy. And so, because I think people, like yourself, when you watch the videos, like we hope to like convey like we're having fun. It's not like it is our business, but like we don't want to make it that. Like we don't want people to think that like, oh, we're just doing it because it's a job. It's like, no, we enjoy playing golf, competing against each other. And I think that's what you've seen over 10 years or 5 years, like that, that me and my brother's relationship is, it is what it is. Like we have fun. We're the same off camera, on camera. And so like people can see that. But then, we're pretty good at golf sometimes, and which helps. And so like you just add all this together, and like the overall, I think what people are sticking around is like, we're fun. We have fun on the course. We treat it as a game. And again, yes, do I get salty and when my competitive edge shows off at times? Sure. But no, I think that's been our biggest, like, I don't know, key is just having fun with it. Showing our love for the game, and like making that hopefully consumable on y'all's end. And I don't know, not getting caught up in the numbers. And yes, it's cool to hit these milestones, but like, that's not why we're doing it. And it's been wild. Sure. I mean, it's still wild to think like 500,000 subscribers. Like, it just seems like you're never going to get to these milestones. Then you hit them, you're like, it's insane.
I can attest to that, man. Obviously, I'm still small time. Like, I started doing this April this year. I hit 500 subs earlier in December, which was like, dude, like that to me is crazy. Like, that's a huge milestone, right? I'm sure you remember back in the early days, like hitting those small amounts. So like, if you would have told me, 8 months ago when I decided to do this, that I would have 500 subscribers by the end of the year, I would have said you're nuts. But for you guys, it's right. Everyone's it's like a relative thing. Like for you guys, it's 500,000, which is still like insane amount. And like you said, you don't want to get caught up with. And you see like a guy like Bryson who's just shooting up millions, the charts like on a subscriber count. But like at the end of the day, you guys are still making great content. Like I said, you guys are still putting out consistent, really good quality videos, whether it's the major cuts, the skins game, or just your one-on-one matches at Selena are still really good quality videos. But 500,000, and kind of a follow-up question to that is like, you see like these channels consistently growing, right? Like over time, whether it's you guys, Grant, constantly trying to hit those next milestones. How are you guys like trying to tap into new subscriber counts and new like demographics on YouTube and like keep growing, like to get to those numbers? Because obviously like you guys are, for example, the skins game had 2.7 million views. It's a great video. And I'd be curious to see how many subscribers that gave you, but like, how are you guys trying to grow that brand and just consistently get to those bigger numbers of subscribers and grow those demographics in your channel?
Yeah. I mean, I really think it's that like, we want to focus on putting out enjoyable stuff that we would want to watch. And that, that not takes advantage of, but like shows, we show off like who we are as people and golfers, and whether that be chasing the PGA Tour or me chasing pro golf, and taking people on that journey, putting out the best 1v1v1s we can with fun guests or people in the space or outside or in pro golf, and just like using our platform to make enjoyable content. I think that when you focus on that, and the numbers will take care of themselves. But I think what a lot of people treat it as a business, and we absolutely do. But I think again, we've gotten 10 years in now and still have fun doing it. I think because we're like, hey, this is just kind of like, this is fun. It's a grind. Like now that with growth comes, you have to put a little higher level production value. You go to some, you can't just go to Selena every week and film. Like you got to travel and do these things. But it's really just having fun guests on, good competitive matches, and try to just produce a little bit higher quality content as you go. But no, just being who you are. I think that if you lose sight of like who you are and like try to be someone like, hey, look, we need to be like Bryson. Yeah, people are gonna see that and like, that's just be you guys, like know. So, but it's cool. It's fun that we get to keep doing it. We have some really fun stuff lined up for this year. And I'm excited.
Yeah, I've heard you guys have, at least from what I've been told from one of my fellow Michigan content creators, my boy who's getting married. If you, I don't want to spoil too much, but I think you guys are doing something with J&A. I don't know if I want to release it. Yeah,
I think we're going to come down in a couple weeks and film at Selena. I've enjoyed watching them kind of grow, and I guess last year we started watching, early in this year I kind of started watching them, and
They're
I've
awesome,
enjoyed the
man.
journey. Yeah.
They're super nice to me. Ashton is one of my best video ever. I just released a couple weeks ago. But what I wanted to say was, you mentioned like, yes, like as growth comes better, and you guys are featuring guests, but I know you talked about this on other interviews, but like the growth of YouTube golf, there's more creators now than ever, right? So that means you guys have to constantly be improving, especially when you're friends with a lot of the biggest creators, right? The Micahs, the Grants, the obviously Phil and Bryson and whoever else, right? The content, Luke Kwan, right? The list goes on and on of all these great content creators. But that means for you guys, those are your competition. You have to constantly elevate your product. But like I said, you guys your channel has been, this year has been crazy. In a year where, no offense to Good, their views have been declining, and you guys had seemed to go on the upwards. But what I want to transition to now, and I'm curious, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but from your perspective, who like the earlier days when you were kind of chasing more the pro golf side, and I know you're still doing that, but more, I would say, when YouTube was like less, popular. Were you ever did you ever feel like you were living like kind of in your brother's shadow as he was like, obviously he won on the PGA Tour and you were still kind of chasing that grind? Did you ever kind of have that? And if so, like, how did you kind of deal with that? And if that was something that you ever kind of dealt with mentally, or kind of what was that like?
Yeah, man, look at me. I look tired. These bags on my eyes. It's light. No, I think we'd all, the siblings, you probably, the younger you are, the more you struggle with that. No, I think, him winning when I was 7 years ago, 28, 29, sounds about right. And I'm just past that age where like, okay, I didn't play as well as I'd like to in professional golf early on in my career. I was better than him most of my college and amateur life. It didn't pan out for me professionally, but like that's fine. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
The dream's not over by any means, like 7 years ago. But
right.
I was more his fan than like anybody jealousy. Now, if it would have been when he was 21, 22, when I was 21, 22, and like just getting out of college, I'm like, why did he win and not me?
Right.
But no, it was because again, Bryan Bros was a thing, and like I viewed honestly us two, like he wins, I win, he wins. Like we're one and the same. Now, again, is that right, wrong, or different? I don't know. But like, that's always how I viewed it. And so it felt more like we winning on the PGA Tour. And I was, obviously his number one fan still. And it was really cool to see. But again, it would have been, if I would have, like I was saying, if it would have happened earlier in my career when I was still actually chasing pro golf, it would have been like, it would have been a little tougher. But no, now, 36, 37, 2 kids. Pro golf is more of a side hobby, but like I'm playing really good golf, and I believe I can still play at a decently high level when I'm playing well. And but again, I don't have these aspirations to be a full-time PGA Tour player right now, and so like there's no like living in a shadow. That is I wouldn't say the PGA Tour dream is sailed, but like I just have a different perspective in life, and like I don't have to be a PGA Tour player to be validated in the golf world, like I once thought when I was 21 or 22.
Right. That's exactly what he said too. And I had him on when he was here in Detroit. Obviously, I had him in person, and he said the same thing. And obviously, he's playing really well this year. Obviously, just finished outside of the FedEx Cup, and I was glued to my TV that day at RSM. But he had said the same thing, where it's like, if this is the last week he tees it up in the PGA Tour, it is what it is, right? He's kind of let that go. And I feel like Wes is obviously extremely competitive too, where that almost helps him, where it's just like free flowing. You guys have YouTube obviously as a mainstay for years to come, where that it frees up that pro golf side. I know you talked about it a little bit more on the Q School side, but what I want to talk about now and transition to, and you touched on it, but a little bit about your relationship with your brother. What is it this like last 10 years been like with him opening Selena, growing the channel, and getting all these brand deals, and kind of seeing YouTube grow from what it was in 2014 when you guys started to now, where it's like YouTube golf is like in a whole different world. So I'm just curious, like what has these last 10 years been like, and what's your relationship like with him, and how has it evolved over that time?
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. I mean, like we said, there aren't a whole lot of people doing YouTube golf when we got into it, and that was way different than, the Ricks, the Petes, and some of the, I don't know whoever the States would have been, but a lot of like the English guys were.
The OGs.
Yeah. I mean, GM was still 5 years away from being a thing, or 3 years, like one in 2014.
Right.
But no. And so like, it was cool to kind of be on the front end of it, creating, but again, we had no idea what we were doing and what it would evolve to. But no, it was fun doing, business and working with your brother in the early days. It was, we were young. We didn't know we were just, it was fun. It was a different, it was a business, but like we still, again, we didn't know what we were doing. But then he gets on tour, and then definitely the relationship. It was. I joke with him all the time. I was like, yeah, you turn into a PJ Tour Wes, and like, you could tell like the Bryan Bros wasn't a thing anymore. He wanted to focus on just PJ Tour golf, which I don't blame him. And it helped maybe a little bit, but then the only focusing on being a PJ Tour player and winner and like doing things you think you have to do as a PJ Tour player, and you could see he got injured, but his game just left him, because I think that's not who he is, to be just solely grinding on one thing. And then 2020 comes around, YouTube kind of kicks back up, and he definitely is 4 or 5 years removed from winning. Game's not there. He's kind of he's got kids. His heart's changed, and he's like, man, I kind of want to come back and do some YouTube. I'm like, oh really? Now you want to come back? And so like the first few months, like, and COVID came, and so like he wanted to come, and then you could see like once the first few videos, you could see like, wow, this is kind of fun. I missed this. And then since then, it's especially the last year, it's been full steam ahead. YouTube back to like, Wesley cares about being a PJ Tour player, but in the day, like, he wants to spend time with me and the family, travel around, create content, but be business partners with your brother more than a PJ Tour player. And like that relationship is kind of back to where it was, just talk all the time. Not with some serious conversations, but like not taking what we do just like the old high school college George and Wesley relationship. But it's funny because again, if I was in his shoes, I'd probably been the same way. Like, hey Wesley, I don't have time for Bryan Bros. I'm a PJ Tour winner now. So it's cool to see kind of like the transformation from my side. Now again, I give him a lot of grief. Like, no, what? I'm like, Wesley, come on, you're a diva. You superstar me. No, but it's great. It really is, like, again, doing this with because again, without Bryan, we probably wouldn't see each other but a handful of times a month if we weren't doing this. And now we get to travel, play golf together all the time, and just spend time with each other, which is the older you get, the more valuable that is. But yeah, it's fun, but also, as you can see in their videos, you can imagine everything's not smooth sailing. For sure. When we're working every day and talking every day.
For sure. I asked him the same question. You were much nicer than him. I don't know if you saw my interview with him, which I don't expect you to watch it. It's fine.
Yeah, I'll watch some bits and pieces of it.
He said you sucked, which
no, of course he did.
Which I find hilarious that you're saying all this nice stuff about him. But no, I digress. He obviously said some nice things about you, but it's cool, man. A quick follow-up question. So, and you don't have to divulge everything, but I'm just curious because it popped into my head. Is it like 50-50? Like, are you guys like from Bryan Bros? And I know you obviously have Bryan Bros TV as well, but like from like I don't want to say ownership perspective, but like from a maybe content planning or like video perspective, is it really kind of like 50-50 between you and Wes, or kind of how does that work? It is. Okay.
It used to be like when we first started, it was like everyone knew it was Bryan Bros was me. Like 2020, he would come on the channel in the matches, but like I would travel and do all the things. And so it kind of went from 90-10 to then, as the year goes on, it's like, oh, kind of, he'll have some ideas and want to do some things. I'm like, well, okay. And then, probably, I can't remember, 2 years ago, last year, whenever it was, it really turned to like truly 50-50 again. Like he ideating, making calls, setting things up, planning stuff, and wanting to like do this, full time. And it's been fun because, again, it helps.
Sorry to interrupt the interview with George. Just want to take a quick second to shout out our newest sponsor here on the Scratch Golf Show, the Dynamite brands. We're going to be sporting their apparel in all of our videos moving forward. Love these guys. It's a PGA Tour caddy-driven business, so it only made sense for us to partner. If you want to check them out, thedynamitebrands.com. The link will be in the description. Use code MARCO for 20% off your first-time purchase. Make sure you check them out. Now, let's get back to the interview.
Have someone to help that like doesn't feel like you're carrying the whole load. Because the bigger you get, the more responsibility you have, and it's just like it's a lot. So then having him to like come on board and like actually want to be here and do this makes a massive difference. It makes content better too. So it's gonna be cool to see like him, PJ Tour player. Most people think, oh, you're a PJ Tour winner. That's the ultimate dream. It's like it has its benefits, and it's the best job in the world, but also it's not all it's cracked up to be. And it's cool that like he's kind of on the back end of that, sacrificing being a PJ Tour player to create build this Bryan Bros thing. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, speaking of Bryan Bros, a couple of the deals that you have, and I'm curious because I just released I'm releasing an interview with Lab Golf CEO this Friday, but I had them on. I got hooked up with the new Oz back here, so I'm curious your thoughts on Lab. I know you've been using the DF3 for I don't know if it's been a year now, but I mean you went away from the Tri-Hot, which you were rolling it. So I'm curious what your thoughts on the DF3 are, how that deal's been working for you guys, and I guess you share your thoughts on the Lab putters because I love it. I'm hooked, but I'm curious from somebody who uses a product who's much better putter than I am. Just overall on Lab and the DF, how that transition's been.
It was hard at first. I'm not gonna lie. Like the first month or so was weird, coming from this traditional putter to this. But once I got locked in and used to it, I love it. Like I feel like I hit way more putts online than I did with the other putter. Now again, last year I had a generationally hot 6 months 6 month stretch with you did and so people you go back to the old putter, your putter better. I'm like, well, you can't compare to that this and so but going from putting good with the Odyssey to the DF3, I don't know, I just feel like I've practiced. I mean, also practiced way less this year. Just having another kid. Bryan Bros being whatever. But I just feel like I don't hit as many offline putts. And truly, I've loved the DF3. And just knowing, especially in the couple tour events I played. Now Bermuda doesn't count. I play it was just awful. The putter went away from me that week. But in Myrtle Beach, I just felt under the nerves for perfectly fast greens. I just could let the putter do what it does. And a lot of putts were made because, I was nervous, but I was like, hey, just let the DF3 work. And again, for me, I would probably hit, let's call it 1 to 2 pulls or pushes around, egregious, okay, I know I pulled that or push that. And, over the span of a tournament, 6 to 8 of those, maybe more, but I just feel like it's that number. If it was 2, per round with the conventional punter, that goes down to 1 with the DF3. Now, sometimes I can go a whole round where I don't hit any really offline that would be I just had this 5-footer that straight pulled. And so for me, I think that's the biggest thing is yes, maybe I haven't putted as well as I would like to this year, but that's just because of lack of practice. But my mishits go online more, and reducing, even if it's just 1 pull around from, let's call it 5 to 8 feet. Going away has been massive. And I think next year, once I get a little more, I want to practice more this year. I want to I do want to take my game seriously. And I'm excited because again, Lab's they've been great partners. And again, Wesley went through a 2-year just massive struggle with a putter, and I feel like this year we've seen it's way more consistent and played some really good golf. And Lab had a big part of that.
Yeah, no, I love the Oz. I have a buddy who helps me out. He got hooked up with the DF. I'm not jealous. I did not think I'd love the DF as much as I did, but rolling with he's got the press grip, and I naturally forward press, and I didn't even realize it, but that thing just sits so nice. And the Oz, I got the counterbalance. Nice. I got the counterbalance Oz. I'm loving it so far. I
need the Oz to be larger. Is yours? Mine's a little too heavy. And I need to get that fixed. A couple of weight things figured out. I think
you mentioned that. I am pulling a little bit. I think that has a little something to do with it.
Yeah, the weight. I mean, that's the big thing. Getting fit for the Lab. But I just don't. I'm so used to my weight with the DF3 that I don't like making the effort to try to switch, and so I need to get a little bit lighter. But the Oz, the way it looks, I would have absolutely spin into that one first if it would have been here last year because it looks amazing and it does roll and feel good too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I had Mason on this transition. I had Busta on Mason now, obviously. He I didn't know this was a controversy apparently, but you obviously had the hole-in-one in Bermuda. I think it was 2 years ago now. When he came on, apparently that doesn't count because hole-in-ones on par 3s don't count for him. So I'm curious, so I guess talk to me about this controversy. Where do you stand on the hole-in-one on par 3s, and kind of what are some of these conversations that you guys have regarding this hole-in-one controversy with all the fellas?
First of all, he's an idiot. So I mean, that's shouldn't take. I mean, anything Mason says, you got to take it with a grain of salt because guys, just but it was funny because if it's a par 3 course, doesn't count. And if I think it's a full round of golf, it doesn't count either. He's very it has to be 18 holes from a tee box. in play and like in a regular round of golf. I'm like, man, it's I kind of agree with that, but at the same time, it's like if you make a hole in one on a par 3 course, like why does that not count?
Yeah.
Now again, there's some loopholes in mine. I'm not as like, oh, par 3 course doesn't count if it's 50 yards, but then it's like, well, then you can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh, par 3 courses count, but if it's a certain distance, then it doesn't count.
Right.
Or if you have like, a par 3 course and it's like 18 holes of 200 plus yard par 3s, like why does that not count?
Yeah.
His argument's like, well, if you get 18 cracks at a hole in one, that's just better your odds. I'm like, well, not really. I mean, whatever. I was like, if you make it in the hole in one shot on a golf course, that counts. And then I'm like, well, what if it's like an executive course was like 1 par 4 or 2 par 4s? It's not a par 3 course.
Yeah.
I don't know. And so it's funny. There was a lot. And again, Wesley's the same way. One of my ones I made, it was like a 60-yard par 3, 72 yards. Yeah. And I hit a 50-degree and like basically bumped and runned it.
Yeah.
And he was like, you chipped it in. I'm like, no, it's a hole in one. And I'm like, well, I don't. I mean, yes, I should count it based on my own criteria, but like me hitting a chip 50.
Yeah.
I don't know. But the one at Bermuda absolutely counts as a pitching wedge from 140. Like,
for sure.
That's a hole in one.
That you narrated too. Yeah, you call on camera.
I can't believe that.
That was really awesome. Craziest things for Bryan Bros TV 2, which is back in effect now, right? Obviously, you guys
got a new guidance.
Cameron, which I'm excited to. Let's talk a little bit about, obviously we're recording on New Year's Eve. I know, like I said, we're going to release this post, 2025, but talk to me a little bit about some of your favorite content this year. I know you've recorded a ton of awesome videos, the major cuts. I don't want to, go over them again and steal some of your thunder, but I guess talk to me just a little bit about some of your favorite content this year, some maybe underrated videos, underappreciated videos. And then we'll go from there.
Let's see. Am I still on the camera here?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I'm gonna go to YouTube to see. Let's see some videos. The underrated one. That's a good question. Let's see. Channel. No, the major cut. Like, let's see here. Content. I would use my phone, but that's my lighting. This should be way easier. I mean, just use your phone, George. You're better than that. Sorry, I'm gonna go dark for a second, which is probably fine by now. Deal with it. Bad lighting. It's just my room. But I'm gonna get an office here soon. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the major cut stuff was a cool idea that was birthed between us and Grant, and like it's taken off more than we might have thought. But at the same time, like we knew the premise was very unique to YouTube, and if good golf was played, shot and produced well, then it was just going to be a thing that people enjoy because it gives, yes, we're competing against each other. We're also competing against a course, but we're then competing on a course that the best in the world have played on. And it was just whatever. That's taken off, and it's been amazing because those are some of the most fun trips we go on, but also it feels like tournaments to us. Like we want to play well, and it's like, and you're playing at an amazing venue. So that obviously is the gold standard for what we've done. Let's see. Let's go all the way back in the beginning of the year. Now here we go. The one that it was. I mean, one of our worst videos at the time. We felt like our first match of the year at Myrtle Beach, kicking off our partnership with them, but also playing Caledonia. Yeah. Great golf course, and we went down there. I think I was just getting over the flu, and it was cold and. One of the worst. I mean, I had a bad attitude. Wesley was just absolutely giving it to me the whole day. I played bad, and it's one of our better videos. It's one of our better videos this year, or it was a very solid one. It was why do people enjoy that one as much? But then again, it just showed it's not all. It's not all rainbows and Skittles and candy. It's real. It's real life. I'm having a tough day. I don't know. That was a fun. But no, all of our golf course stuff kind of buttoned up the journey there. Introducing Selena to the world of 18 holes is really cool.
That's crazy that this was that honestly feels like a whole different, that does not feel like this year, which is crazy. Yeah, last year that was 7 months ago.
But no, I think just going through it now, the consistency of having good guests, being having some tour vlogs, 1v1 matches that I lost every single one, which is pretty impressive. But no, I think
Perfect,
just
man. You guys have awesome collabs this year. The Dude Perfect collab was sweet.
That was a dream, kind of a dream of ours. But I think, like, honestly, like Bermuda was a lot of that crew in Bermuda was a lot of fun. But I think the tour stuff that we put together, like the Q School, we tried being intentional this year with that's kind of not underrated because people enjoyed it, but like we wanted to like really tell that story well. And try to do it something different last year, but also competing again, like on YouTube, yes, but then also for like a PJ Tour card and Corn Ferry cards, and like getting out of what I do and getting into the world of like pro golf. It's scary, it's fun, and so those are probably some of my favorite pieces of content, just because like I was able to do both, compete and tell the story, and people enjoyed it, which is really cool. So yeah, those are the Q School stuff. So some of like the two PJ Tour vlogs, those are like the one I played in Myrtle Beach and Bermuda, like those are givens. Playing in tour events crazy, but like the journey of Q School is, something that's not really seen on YouTube much, and the people still, even in golf, don't even understand what it is, and so being able to like shine a light on that, and
they don't understand the pressure, all that. I mean, we had Ryan. I know Ryan French, and he was one of my first guests, like way back in the summer, and he does such a great job highlighting it. But like,
he's a goat.
I mean, dude, that is some real stress, and like for people, like $6,000 is like life changing money for these guys who are going in debt. Like Mark Baldwin, who's a guy who's still chasing it, man, and like props to Mark. It's a grind out there, man. My next question, and I want to transition before we get into Phil. I'll just a quick question. Do you watch a lot of like other YouTube channels? Like obviously I know your boys Grant and Mason, but like outside, like do you consume a lot of YouTube content? Because I know I've asked every other content creator. Some say yes, some say a lot say no, which I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's tough. Like again, in my free time, I'm working. I think I probably would if I didn't do golf, like try to be good at golf, and try to practice. Because again, it's not like I practice a whole lot, but a few hours a day. I just want to like try to focus on playing in like my golf game, and so like I end up not with 2 kids and everything else, not having a lot of time. But I always like watch the intros and kind of scrub through to see what people shot, just to keep up. Like like you said, Busted Jack, Micah, Grant, Summer, like Bryson, Bob Does Sports, just kind of like scrub through to see what. Hey, just if there's anything that we can take from these other channels to improve ours. Luke Kwan, but I do watch and keep up with everyone in the space, because again, I do love YouTube golf. I love what it is,
for sure.
For the game of golf, for people who like consume it, but like I'm a fan, and so like now, do I watch all 45 or 2 hours of the videos? No, but I definitely scrub through and watch like a lot of I'll consume a lot of it for sure.
Right. I always see you in Johnny's comments on his vlogs. I see you in there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Jane Golf.
Dude, they do. They're so. I mean, I think they're very under. I mean, they're obviously have taken off this year as well. They've been another group that has done really well. But I think they're really underappreciated. The content they do. Being from Michigan, I'm obviously a Michigan guy. Being about an hour and a half south of them. People just show the state of Michigan and some of these cool golf courses that I get to play, that I've seen, that are some of my favorite, courses in the state that they're highlighting is super cool for me. And obviously I've had both Johnny and Ashton on, and they're great guys as well. And this isn't going to turn into like a J&A conversation, but what I want to talk about, have you ever played golf in Michigan?
I don't think so.
No, we got to get you. I know you mentioned
Toledo. I'm trying to think. No, never been to Detroit, never Michigan.
Well,
never Michigan, just Ohio.
Obviously, there's some great golf here, man. There's some great golf in the state.
I'm trying to think. Is there? I don't even know if I've been to Michigan. Where's Toledo? Where's Toledo? I know it's Ohio.
Toledo's like an hour south of me.
So is it kind of like on the border?
It's literally on the border of Ohio, Michigan. Like,
well, I mean, I've obviously been to Detroit, flew to Detroit, or flown through there. So I think we flew to Detroit and drove to Toledo, I believe.
Okay.
So that I think that's my extent of my Michigan journeys. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got to get you through, man. There's some great golf here, but
that's what I see.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's great golf. But I do this. I challenge your brother. Your brother was the first person I did this with, but I've done it with every creator and most of the caddies I've had on as well. But I will challenge you to a match as well. I have a standing match with your brother. He's going to give me 4-side. I have him on camera saying that. I can come down to Selena whenever I want. I have it open, but I will challenge you as well to a match. I've got a partner. We could do 2v2, whatever. But I definitely. I'm not afraid to challenge it. I'm a huge competitor. I play to a +1, so I'm not great, but I can hang.
+1's great. You kidding me?
Yeah. For somebody who's never done it, I mean, I have talent, but I can't chip or putt. But that's besides the point. But definitely want to throw that challenge.
You might get exposed to Selena not chipping and putting.
Okay, I know. I've seen that. I know. I'm kind of regretting it, but even if I go, it's like, it's going to be the best experience of my life when it happens. It'll be my Super Bowl, so I definitely want to make it happen.
Come on down. That's what we.
Sweet.
That's why we. We love. Selena, or the idea of Selena just being able to. Don't pause. Don't go. Oh yeah, we're good. Yeah, the AirPods are very. You touch it and it turns the audio off. But no, we like if you're creating content, you find your way down at Selena, like come on out and we'll y'all are there. Everyone's our guest there, and because again we know the challenges of creating content, especially as popular as golf is now, busy as courses are, and some very unwilling. So wow, it was not in the whole time. I hear better now. But yeah, no, we'd love to have you down there. It's I don't know, it's especially right now, it's in really good shape too.
Yeah, for sure. The videos look awesome. All right, man. Now I want to talk about the grandiose, the one I'm so excited to talk about. And I'm happy we're able to do this the day after. You may have to spoil it for me, which is fine. I'm going to watch a full video regardless, but I digress. So Phil Mickelson match, man. This was such an awesome video. First off, how did this come to fruition? How nervous was Wesley? How cool is it from you as a fan to experience this? What are your thoughts on Phil and YouTube and the Grant series? Let's just talk about all of it, and then we'll just, this will probably be, we'll wrap up and we'll do some rap first, but this will be my last full form question. But I want to spend a good amount of time talking about Phil. So
yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, Phil's great for YouTube golf. Like he's been one of the best golfers of all time, and one of personalities.
He's great for.
What word am I trying to get caught trying to find words? Not controversial, but very
polarizing.
People. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Like people love him or hate him. And I did be honest. I grew up because Tiger was my guy. I was like, I don't like Phil, and just for whatever reason, and never liked him. But then I think he got to a point where he was like one of the best players to never win a major, and I was like, you know what, I wouldn't mind seeing Phil win. Like when he won the Masters, I was like, okay, now I'm a Phil fan, or PJ West. Sure, I can't remember which one it was. That I was like, okay, now like Phil. Then ever since then, it's been like I've been a big Phil fan. And then when he won PGA, I was like, this is amazing. Anyway, and so my view has shifted on him a lot. And then fast forward to now, when he kind of got into the content space, I guess I don't know, earlier this year, or like wanting to like make an effort. I was like, this is interesting. Like, why does he want to do that? But like seeing him, like he's great for YouTube golf.
Oh, and then awesome.
Fast forward to Grant and him kind of hit it off and film some stuff. And then that led to I think Grant saying, hey, you and Wesley need to play a match, or, us two, George and Wesley need to take us two on, and kind of because again, Phil knows Wesley a little bit through PJ Tour. Yeah. And knows, Wesley's personality and the chippiness and the chirps that can come along with that. And so he knew hey, I want to film a match with Wesley. Yeah. And for our channel and his, and Bryan Bros channel. And so that's kind of through Grant, I kind of like it. Definitely it sped things up for sure. Yeah. And then getting the call then kind of making, when we realized that Wesley was going to have time to go out there and film, I was like, this is gonna be amazing. Low key, I was like, man, I want to be out there. Right. But it was during Q school. It was very it's like, hey, it's a 1v1 right now. I was like, man, dang, I want to. You
guys were sitting on this for a while then. This was I thought this was when you guys were in Half Moon Bay. I didn't know this was a while ago.
No, it was that week. But we were planning on it. It was supposed to be early. Okay. During Q school, 1st of December. Yeah. I was like, man, I want to go and whatever. And then I was like, you know what? This is a chance to highlight the greatest golfer, one of the greatest golfers of all time. Yeah. Against one of the worst PGA Tour winners of all time. On YouTube, in our in what we do is this is an insane opportunity. Right. And so having him on the channel and showcasing him because again, I watched the video and I watched watching the first hole through. I got updates on how it went and like I knew what happened, but watching it, I was like, this is amazing. Like this is so good for YouTube golf because you get to hear one of the best of all time talk about golf and like if you want to consume and like learn and just like, hey, I want to nerd out and learn about golf, like you can hear it through his eyes. But then his trash talk is amazing, but it's also very clean, which is very like that's what like I appreciate and like
the subtle jabs are the best.
Then the subtle, and then like he also has the game to back it up and like it truly is a perfect storm. Because again, I think that's what most people, golf fans, want. They want insight into the best players in the game and like to see them at a human level. And so this is an opportunity to do that. And it was amazing. Like watching that first hole and how it all played out. I was like, this is insane. Like, this is one of the greatest of all time, just on doing a YouTube video with Wesley.
Yeah. And then it sets the tone too. I mean, obviously I'll spoil it, but this is going to be like come out 2 weeks after birdie. Mm-hmm. Wesley nearly cans it on the first hole after Phil shows up playing the mind games, the classic, all the Phil stuff, like the stories you hear. And obviously it's doing it for YouTube. So I assume he's leaning into it more, but man, it's cool. He shows up, 10 minutes for his tee time, hits 2 balls, and he does it to Grant. He does it to Wesley, which is awesome, man. It really sets the tone for an amazing video. And if you guys haven't watched it, make sure we'll link the Bryan Bros stuff in the description. I mean, if you're watching this, you're not subscribed to their channel, I'd be shocked. But go subscribe to their channel. And like I said, if you haven't watched that video, it's an amazing video. I love the banter, man.
Back nine's even better though.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
which is insane. Like it truly is one of the best 18-hole matches in the YouTube. I mean, everyone watches this probably already seen it, but like it's amazing. I'm excited for my chance to take a crack at Phil and like see how my game stacks up and see if I can handle like him peering down and just like sinking his teeth in and talking trash like Wesley would. So I'm excited for that opportunity.
Some of the the thing I loved about it, and I know we talked about it, but in my opinion, I put on my story and I put out on my socials, like it was, in my opinion, the best YouTube golf video of the year. And I say it for a number of reasons. One, like I said, I'm in the age of, I do a lot of the pro golf side. I grew up watching the pro golf side. I now consume more YouTube because the PGA Tour, and I know you've had your gripes with the broadcast, it's just not great for the fans. So I spend more time watching YouTube where it's less commercials. Stuff like that. But I grew up watching that. So Phil is somebody who, like you said, it was Tiger or Phil. And I'm 31, so I'm not too much younger than, you're not too much older than me. So, but that's kind of the era. So seeing, somebody I grew up watching, I still remember the 2010 Masters, that shot he hit from the pine straw. That is one of the best shots I've ever seen. I still remember where I was hitting that. So seeing that and then watching one of my favorite creators, the golf, the banter, everything. It's just so good. And I don't want to nitpick and no shot at Grant, but the main difference is Wes and Phil from a skill level, they're both pros. Grant is such a good golfer, and this isn't a dig at him, but getting 5 shots, it's that's I think maybe the little separator between the videos of these guys are both high quality individuals, players, skill level, banter, it just had it all. And I'm so excited for the back nine, especially how it ended, right? Phil darting that 1-on-9 for Eagle. One of my favorite parts was when, because the best part is I knew it was coming, was when he gave him the shoes. And I knew exactly before he even opened the box what was going to happen. He had the one on there. And that is just one of the that is so awesome.
Yeah, that's true. I was that's amazing. Truly is.
So obviously, Phil and Grant are doing the 2v2 series. It seems all but a shoo-in that they're going to be taking you on in that series. But have you had conversations about taking Phil on in a one-on-one match? I know you kind of allude to that, but I guess what does that look like?
I truly don't know. Again, who knows? Wesley the same way. You kind of start dabbling in YouTube, and you're like, well, I can only do this. And then you kind of get into it. And you're like, I mean, let's just sure, I'll do more and more stuff. Again, he's playing full schedule.
Yeah.
Is someone like Phil gonna again, I know we're one of the we're a big YouTube channel, but is a 1v1 with George versus Phil gonna be something that he does when he can have I don't know if he can do PJ Tour players on his channel or if it has to be live, but focusing on having live players and other pro golfers. Well, I guess he can since Wesley's PGA Tour player.
Yeah, right.
But focusing on that, and then the Grants and the Brysons and the bigger YouTubers. And so like a 1v1 with me, would it make sense? I don't know, but I definitely know a 2v2's. I mean, him saying what he said in that, like, who's my least favorite golfer?
Yeah,
Wesley,
right.
like have it, like
yeah.
that 2v2 has to be at some point this year.
Right.
I hope. So I mean, I want to like compete against someone I grew up watching, and
for sure.
But no, I mean, it'd be cool. Like I want to see if I can take down Phil.
Yeah.
But I don't think it will happen. But who knows? Maybe he winds down to Selena just somehow like
right.
he gets addicted to YouTube golf and he's like, I need to film more videos. Let's go. So I don't know.
Yeah, and like you said, I feel like a lot of Live guys are doing YouTube, right? You Sergio, Bryson, more, and Liv is obviously, and we don't have to go down this rabbit hole. Liv is obviously much more open to the YouTube side than the PGA Tour, but Phil is great for YouTube, man. I'm excited to see where his channel goes. I think him and Bryson, is the Phil of our generation, or like of the younger generation, and I know Phil and Bryson are obviously very close, and Phil sees what Bryson's doing, and Phil's not somebody to waste his own time. He sees an opportunity in YouTube, and I know he talked about it in your video of like the instructional stuff, which that is something that I've always, even before he started doing it, it's like he can make a killing just doing that type of stuff. Yeah. Like the secrets and stories. And I'm super excited for it. Cool, man. Let's do some rapid fires and let you get out of here.
Let's go.
You can do one word. You can spend as much time as you want. But favorite golf course, and it doesn't have to be nicest, because the nicest golf course is my next question. But just your favorite golf course.
Probably Augusta National.
Yeah.
Or I mean, honestly, if you watch the Twitch streams, Lincoln Park and near Milwaukee,
I did. I was in that Twitch stream. I was in there. Was that the one that got rained out?
Yeah, we were we got rained. But the vibes that you bring, like those kind of courses. The older I get, the more I want to chase vibes and with whatever the niceness per se. But yeah, Augusta is definitely like my favorite.
Yeah, so obviously I know you're not too far from there, but okay. What is the most prestigious course or the nicest course that you ever played?
Augusta.
You have played Augusta, so you have okay. That's awesome.
Too long time ago, but hopefully I can play it again soon. That's like I want to take a crack at it now, like older and like better golf games. I played awful when I played there.
Yeah. The Bryan Bros Augusta video is gonna hit like crack.
God, can you imagine?
Favorite? I think you already answered this, but favorite golfer?
There's so many. Like right now, like I love Scott. I love watching Scottie Scheffler play because it's so unique and crazy. But Tiger Woods, like that's when you're 10 or 11 watching greatness, and like he was what inspired a whole generation to play golf. So I mean, Tiger.
Favorite creator?
I don't know. Right now, like ATL Swing King, new like random guy from Atlanta, not a pro golfer, but just
I saw you did
very relatable, and it brought me back to kind of like my kind of how I was raised in golf and people I grew up playing with, and like some of the dads and uncles of like one of my best friends growing up playing. It just reminded me of that, but also it's just like raw. It's real. It's not like fake, in which again I love watching that. But I mean, Grant, Bright, like any of the top content creators in the YouTube golf space, the Micahs, the Grants, like I just love watching good golf and people who enjoy and passionate about YouTube golf put out stuff that's good quality. So I don't really have a favorite, but right now, what I do watch most of is ATL Swing King.
Nice. Who do you think? And you may just answer, but like, who do you think are some like underappreciated creators in the space that maybe don't get enough love or enough shine? Like, obviously, I know for me it's J-Net. I just feel like their videos are so good. But
I think Micah is like people. I mean, he's very polarizing for whatever. I don't know why.
Speaking of polarizing,
because like maybe he rubs people the wrong way sometimes. I don't know, but like
I like Micah. He's a good dude.
I mean, I think his stuff is very solid and good golfer. Underappreciated. I mean, I think probably him. I'd say J&A. They're putting some good quality content out there. I don't really know who else would be in that list. There's any like random pro golfers that are kind of put out content that's like showcasing a journey or like 50, 60K subscriber. I would say Josh Kelly, Hole in One Trick Shots, very underappreciated.
Josh
he's one like massive Instagram account. But like he's making an effort on YouTube and like trying, even like you might not see the numbers, but like he's putting consistent stuff out there, and it's very good. His humor's clean. One of the nicest guys in the whole golf space, but also like talented, like funny, pretty good at golf.
Yeah.
Did beat me by like 8 or 9 one time. He still lets everyone know. But he's one of like, I'll make sure to always support his stuff because again, he great dude, but also like if you just want like personality, like he's such a great personality. He made like he honestly made the Bermuda content. It's kind of someone on the outside made it 10 times better because again, just who he is and how good his personality, how funny he is. So I'd say Josh Kelly.
Okay, cool. Coolest golf moment on camera.
The hole in one for sure.
Okay.
That's, I mean, calling your own hole in one. On the whole backstory of like being on Bryan Bros TV because I didn't like really want to film a YouTube video.
Yeah, no one wanted to film that day, which no one knew until I know Mason told us.
It was cold. It was rainy. Like I think, but then getting my first PJ Tour event in Bermuda. We did our tournament last year, and we were filming it. So I mean, that they got my reaction of like, "Hey, well, one more thing, George. Like, you got a sponsor exhibition into a tour event." And so, like, capturing that, and, like, being able to watch that moment back, and I mean, there's just so many cool moments. Like having my daughter scream at me and on the first tee in Myrtle Beach early this year. So there's just a lot of cool moments. But I mean, honestly, those lists are, I can't choose one but over the other on those lists.
What about your coolest off-camera golf moment?
Well, I mean, I have to go back a while because I feel like I haven't had the off-camera golf moments in 5 years. I don't know, probably something in college or
you can pass. You can pass.
Yeah, like my in college, I had one that I always just remember about. Like my sophomore year, we were one stroke down against Alabama, and Alabama at the time I had like top 5 team in the country. Playing the last hole, and we needed birdie to force a playoff with him. And I was the last guy in, the number 1 player, and had like 40 feet for birdie, and I cashed it.
Nice.
Last player, like, so made that to force a playoff with them. And so like, win or make or go home. And you still those plays you dream about as a kid, and doing it. Now I guess it was on camera because my dad filmed it, but it was just like, surely you're not going to make this. Then you hit it, and you're like, it's not going to go in. And then you kind of start seeing it like, oh my gosh, this might go in. And then it gets closer, it might go in. And then like you see it going in, and like the massive fist pump. And so that was definitely, I don't know, 20 plus years ago, 20 years ago. That's not that long. Bad math. It's like 14 years ago. Okay.
Fair enough. You're getting old.
That's
all right.
Yeah. That's definitely one of them.
All right. Last one. Well, I guess 2 more, but this is my one. You have one mulligan on camera. Mm-hmm. Where would you? It could be PGA Tour, it could be YouTube, any YouTube. It doesn't have to be your channel. It could be any. But one mulligan on camera. Where would you use it and why?
I don't know. Probably this last match video. One down to Wesley. So, it wouldn't matter anyway. But like, probably I can't do one that. If I'm tied with Wesley playing the last hole and I hit some awful shot because I just get so nervous and intense, I hit a bad shot. Probably something like that. I'd say that one. It Half Moon Bay, because I just can't stand hitting bad shots under pressure, and like I want to hit a mulligan, hit a 4-iron in there to like 5 feet, make eagle.
Feel that. All right, guys. Well, before we go, George, I appreciate you so much, man. This has been so much fun. Thank you for jumping on. Before we sign off, any last minute messages? Feel free to plug whatever you want. I don't have a ton of sponsors, but any last minute messages, plug whatever you want, and then I'll let you go, man. Thank you so much. This was awesome. Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. Appreciate you reaching out and staying persistent. And because again, I want to do my job in part to like help up and comers and like. I appreciate it. Like, so there's a lot of people that helped us out along the way. And I know, especially that people that are passionate about YouTube golf and that are trying to put, good stuff out there. And, I know like if I was in your shoes, I'd want to have, the Grants, the Buster Jacks, the Bryan Bros of the world to like, help. And so I want to do my part. And, but also you're making good stuff, and I appreciate all the support and what you're doing for YouTube golf as well. So, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm glad we can make it happen. Yeah. Awesome. Well, guys, that's George Bryan. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next one. It's going to be a good one to kick off the year.